A warm welcome to each and every one of you joining the orientation program for the Women Chartered Accountants Placement Drive today. Today's placement drive has been jointly organized by two committees of the ICAI, the Women and Young Members Excellence Committee and the Committee for Members in Industry and Business. Our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, had made a very profound remark when he was addressing the G20 Ministerial Conference on Women Empowerment. He said that when women prosper, the world prospers. And when women move ahead economically, that fuels growth. Women in leadership foster inclusivity, and the voice of women inspires positive change. More apt words could not have been spoken. It's almost like he was addressing people for our placement drive today. We have the leadership team of both the committees with us today, and I would request Madam C.A. Preeti Savla, who is the chairperson of the Women and Young Members Excellence Committee, to share the welcome address. Good evening, ma'am, and over to you.
Hello, good evening, friends. Very respected Chairman CMIB, Central Council Member C.A. Durgesh Kabra, Vice Chairman C.A. Rohit Truvachia, Vice Chairman of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee C.A. Abhay Chajed, my dear coordinators Sheenal and Ranjana, and all dear participants. It gives me an immense pleasure to be amongst you and having organized this orientation program. This is the initiative which has been started last year by both the committees together for campus placement program, and this is the first campus placement program, first ever campus placement program only for women. We never wanted that there should be a separate campus for women. However, looking at the requirements of the timing, we thought that an increasing importance of work from home and availability of the facilities, we thought that the women who have taken the break and wants to do only the part-time work, we should have a specific campus placement for them. And accordingly, last year we have organized the same. And friends, accordingly, we have organized, and the great support received and the response received from all of you. We have good response received from the companies also who have come for the placement. And this orientation program is specifically organized to share with all of you how to face the interview and how to do the time management, working flexi hours, part time, sitting at home. So all those interactions will happen. If you have your question, please feel free to ask the same. Keep it ready, and while speakers are there, you can ask to them also. I hope this will be a very fruitful program to all of you, and I wish that all you participants who have enrolled for the campus placement should get the required job also. I wish all of you the best, and thank you very much. Over to coordinator.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am. With the intention that our placement drive succeeds in helping every single participant, I now request the chairman of the Committee for Members in Industry and Business, C.A. Shri Durgesh Kabra, to share his opening remarks. Over to you, sir. So you're on mute.
Thank you, Jinal.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks to the chairperson of Women and the Young Members Excellence Committee, Preeti Savla ji, who is doing wonderful tasks for the young as well as women members, and also working hard on the sustainability and sustainability reporting standard boards. The other two colleagues, the vice chairman of the CMIB, Mr. Rohit Ruatia, youngest member in the council, dedicated to members and students, created the Guinness Book of World Record as far as the career counseling program is concerned, and having wonderful vision for the student fraternity and CA member fraternity, and working hard to build the capacity of young as well as the senior members and the students at large. The other council colleague, Abhay Chajed, a very matured one from Bhopal, and doing excellent work, not only in the women and young members excellence committee, but also at the committee for economic law, and also he has worked as the vice chairman with me, and last year for the financial reporting review board, where he has performed exceedingly well and continue to do so. And I'm sure that the work which is being put by all these people is going to help all the professional brothers and sisters across the globe and country. It's indeed a pleasure for me to have word with you virtually with respect to the women placement orientation program. This is the second time when we are having this. Last year, we thought of and joined with the Women and Young Members Excellence Committee for doing this placement program, and looking to the response for women who have left the job in between, taken a break, and would like to continue again, either work from home or maybe flexi hour or maybe part-time. So we thought of that, yes, we, both the committee, should continue with this kind of initiative for all such lady chartered accountants who have taken a break and would like to again continue with the professional services to the various stakeholders. The 2030 agenda for sustainable development provided us with 17 goals through the NITI Aayog, but also SDG 5, which is about the achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls in all circumstances. This has put empowerment at the focus of the international community. India is a dynamic economy with an aim to be of 5 trillion economy by 2024, and as is said by JP Morgan, that we would be the third largest economy in the world by the 2030. And we are growing at a very faster pace. Very recently, even the Prime Minister has come out with the Nari Vandan Adhiniyam at the Lok Sabha, and our President normally tells that even otherwise, without bringing these kind of Adhiniyam, the membership of ladies have touched around 27%, and probably by the time that Adhiniyam comes into force, our membership where the woman will be. I was dropped in between. So women will be at the number which is there into that bill at the ICAI too. I'm sure women power is formidable force that can create, nurture, and transform any area wherever they are involved into, and that will be a sustainable development. The number of women in the chartered accountancy profession, as I told, is growing significantly. ICAI, through its committee for members in industry and business and Women and Young Members Excellence Committee has started this initiative from last year onwards, and we would like to continue the same. And I am sure that orientation, which is going to happen today, will help you out that how you present before the various recruiters who are there to have your services. And I'm sure that in time to come, there'll be more opportunities available for the ladies who really would like to work on flexi time, part time, or work from home basis. In this placement program, 20 companies are there with 51 interview teams who is going to participate, and there are 257 plus vacancies, and probably some more vacancies may come. I wish all the participants into this program a wonderful interactions ahead, and all the very best for their turn to the various opportunities which comes to them. Thank you very much for listening me patiently, and I would like to say that both the committees are there to work for all of you in time to come also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging comments. I'm sure with the fact that women are the focus internationally and within India, opportunities are coming our way, just like this placement drive, and we'll be able to make the most of them. I would now request CA Shri Rohit Ruvatia ji, who is the Vice Chairperson of the Committee for Members in Industry and Business, to share his remarks for the opening address. Over to you.
Thank you, Jinal ji. The respected Chairman of the Committee for Members in Industry and Business, Durgesh Kabra ji, who is my chairman. Actually, I am the Vice Chairman in the Committee for Members in Industry and Business. Respected Chairperson of Women Members Excellence Committee, Preeti Savla ji, the Vice Chairman of the Committee, Avesh Hajar ji, all the technical team and staff of both the committees, and dear participants, a very good afternoon to one and all. Of course, both the chairpersons have already spoken about what we are planning and what we are doing, so nothing much to share with you. But yes, of course, this is a great opportunity and a great initiative taken by the institute last year only, and I feel happy that in the very first meeting of Committee for Members in Industry and Business, I proposed in the opening remarks of the then chairman and who is today Vice President of the Institute, Ranjit Agarwal ji, that we should have a separate campus for the women members. And of course, that was well taken by the Women Member Committee and Committee for Members in Industry together, that yes, since the campus is being organized by members in industry, therefore both the committee come together and organize such kind of event. I'm happy to share that last time there was almost more than 150 vacancies, and out of which 125 approximately women member got the offer letter. So this was for the very first time and very tough and difficult decision at our end to be taken, because I remember that in 1996, when we see all the papers of the Committee for Members in Industry, when the campus placement was very first time organized, that time also almost approximately less than 500 offer letter were given. So you can very well understand the growth of such kind of activities done by the institute, that today we are able to offer more than 5,000 jobs to the newly qualified chartered accountants. So accordingly, you can very well understand that this initiative in time to come will certainly help all the women chartered accountants, specifically those who are interested to work for the flexi working hours or for the work from home and other related aspects. So definitely this time we are having vacancies of more than 250 and expected more vacancies to come. And we believe that our professional chartered accountant who are exclusively the female CAs get the best of the opportunities available in the market. My sincere belief is that in a country, if you want that the country to become a developed country, the 50% of the population, that is the female population of the country, should work something or the other. Like now the time has changed. We are living in the 21st century, and we have witnessed the G20 recently, and the institute is in the 75th year of the foundation of the ICAI. so we can see the change which we are looking forward, and we believe that the women member of the profession keep working and come out from their comfort zone and start working for the profession because they have done their best efforts to get this degree, the qualification of the chartered accountant, and this does not goes waste. So in order to have an initiative, we have decided, the institute have decided to work for the profession day and night. All the council members are working in the interest specifically for the women members, and this is great initiative for all of us. My best wishes to all the chartered accountants who are going to participate in the campus placement program for this women member. And this orientation program specifically focus on the areas, maybe the speaker will also deliberate that how you need to prepare for the campus interviews, how you need to prepare for the campus, how to discuss and how to face the various aspects, that what kind of queries and what kind of expectations the HR would be having from your side. So these certain points will be covered so that we prepare ourselves that whenever we face some interview part or whenever we attend the interview, so we are well prepared and we are not left out due to the unpreparedness. So it is a great initiative to have an orientation, because certain members may feel that what kind of orientation we need, but I request all my speakers of today's program that kindly focus on the area so that they prepare themselves, and also share your personal number so that they can connect with you thereafter also. And of course, this particular orientation or this particular campus program does not guarantee that each one of us who are participating in the campus will get the job, but certainly it is a beginning which is improving day by day, year and year. So likewise, last year 125 female members got the job offer. This year we expect that 250 female chartered accountant get the job offer, and subsequently it goes on increasing. So with this, my best wishes to all the female fraternity of the profession. May we work together in development, in the growth of the profession, in the growth of the institute, and your suggestions are always most welcome by all of us. We try our best to incorporate the suggestions from all the fraternity side. We definitely try to incorporate and we'll work together. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai ICAI.
Thank you, sir. I think with an increase of 125 to 250 vacancies, that's like 100% jump. And I'm hoping that next year we see even more exponential growth. Thank you, sir. I now request the Vice Chairperson of the Women Young Members Excellence Committee, CA Shri Abhay Chhajar ji, to share the concluding remarks and also the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeeral. It's truly an honor and privilege for me to be here. And I think this is my first appearance in this program, because I was, of course, not there as part of this committee last year, but have a privilege this year that I am being the vice chair of this very important committee, where Preeti Savla Madam is chairing this important committee, the Women Young Members Excellence Committee. And of course, fortunate and privileged again to join with the CMIB committee, which is headed by Durgesh Kabra ji from Mumbai and Rohit Ruvatia. And I think this, both joined together, I think it's really a combination which I think would really end result would be an excellent result, would be really benefited to each participant who has come here, because these are two important committee. Of course, Women and Young Members Excellence, we are doing a lot of work since almost 8 months now, a lot of initiative me and Preeti Savla has taken. And we are trying to do more and more and create certain more opportunity through certain online systems, portals, and various other modes where we can assist these women who have actually come for this placement. Of course, this is one-time event, but we would certainly from the ICAI, we want them, to be connected wherever they require these services of these committees or assistance of these service of these committee. They are always available. And of course, CMIB has been doing excellent work. Both the chairman and the vice chair, they've done a lot of initiative. And also I could see the life coach, Ranjana Tripathi Madam, thank you for being here. And I think your time would really be important. And I think your words of wisdom, experience would really help the participants who are here today to know how, to prepare themselves for the interview, how they should prepare to speak, how to, have an impressive profile, how to decide, what is the expectation of the corporate world when probably they'll be, attending the interviews, what profile needs to be looked at, whether, it's the profile should be the priority, not the monetary, which should be the priority. I think that also is one of the key factors which we see a lot of, women and young members also look up to. That profile is very important because, time to come, it's, the job satisfaction finally, which actually, help you to grow in that field and not just the monetary benefit. So I'm sure you'll take a lot of these, points into consideration before you, take your sessions. And I'm sure women would really be benefited with your experience. And Madam Mamta, I'm sure also, and the others who will be there, who will be sharing the mock interview also you have planned. I think that's again a very, I would say, good initiative, which is really needed because women's coming after a gap, chartered accountants, who wants to work in flexi hours or who wants to do these flexi time work. I think there is so much opportunity, and with the growing economy, with the growing industries, the requirements, and the women chartered accountants, which Durgesh Bhai already mentioned, that the numbers are now growing. It's almost 29% now. We have the women CAs, 43% we have our future members who would be joining our profession. So the strength is growing each day. And I think I can see that time when we'll have 50% both women and the men both. And I'm not sure, or I can say time is not that late that we may have a women young members, we may have a men empowerment committee also once they cross 50%. I think that is the time we are looking at. And I'm sure women who have come here would really be very excited to know, understand, prepare themselves well, how to have their resume, how to select the company, know about, properly what company is to be picked up, understand or go back to the, the background of the companies, understand the companies, how they have performed over the years. All such points would, I'm sure, would be well taken care by the expert speakers who will share their experience. And I sincerely thank Madam Preeti, Durgesh Bhai and Rohit, and of course, Jinal, Kajal, Madam Ranjana, and all the office from both the committees. We have Sunita and Shanu and the others who have joined from both the committees for being here and ensuring that we have an excellent strength. And this, like Rohit said, it's just the beginning. So we'll definitely ensure from the committee and share all the details, whatever we can, so that every woman gets the benefit of this placement program. And we can, we can still be connected, and wherever we have missed or we, any of the women who've not been able to accommodate or get any job, we'll try that we can accommodate through, not just through this program, but other placements, which we have a database of a lot of companies where we can try and accommodate these women who want to work. So thank you one and all for joining this initial 30-minute session. And of course, now we'll have an excellent session with the experts who will be sharing their experiences. Thank you very much, Jinal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your comments. In fact, it's a wonderful intention that both the committees have, that we have 100% placement and also be able to reach out to everyone if in case that doesn't materialize. So thank you for your words of wisdom. Well, like you said, it's important to look at the profile, not just the monetary aspect, because that's the key when you're starting off. We have our first session today. The session is Corporate Expectations from Chartered Accountants, and our speaker is Madam Ranjana Tripathi. I will now hand over to my colleague CA Kajal Sangvi to introduce our speaker, ma'am, today. Kajal, over to you.
Thank you, Jinal. Now, moving ahead, let's begin with our first session, which is Corporate Expectation from Chartered Accountants, which will be conducted by Ms. Rachna Tripathi. Let me introduce you to her profile. Ms. Rachna Tripathi is an ICF US certified coach.
Kajal, I'll interrupt. It's Ranjana Tripathi.
Yes, sorry. Ms. Ranjana Tripathi is an ICF US certified coach with specialization in life purpose, spiritual, and transformation. She also has co-authored books on software, self-help, and fictional anthologies. Her solo book, Life Unplugged, connect to the divinity within, was loved by many, and was a part of the Crossword bookstore. She's a certified neuro-linguistics practitioner and has rich experience of almost 20 years in corporate world, varying from being a software engineer, trainer to head of the department. During the pandemic, she has addressed more than 10,000 people through webinars on self-growth and personal development topics. She is presently into mentoring and coaching youth, corporates, and individuals, namely Magna, Cadila, JBM, colleges like Gujarat at Law College, Parul University, etc. So, Ms. Ranjana Tripathi, welcome on the board, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kajal, for those wonderful words. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. So first of all, very good evening to all the committee members and greetings to all the participants and the technical support system here. Before I start the topic, I would really like to applaud for all the committee members, the way they have started and initiated this project, especially the orientation program for everyone, the women, especially those who have taken sabbatical. It is really very, very important gesture. Because if you ask me, I was also at one point of time taken sabbatical from my career. So I know how it feels when you want to come back. It is, there are lots and lots of curiosity. Along with curiosity, there is a kind of energy, which is fearful energy. Like if you can come back the same way as you had expected when you had just passed your CA. And let me tell you, clearing CA exam itself is a humongous task. So once you have cleared that exam and you're not able to continue with your career, I can understand the feelings, the emotions that you must be having throughout the time or the phase when you were not able to work, or you did work and then for a time being you had taken a sabbatical. So coming back seems to be more tougher than getting the first job. Sometimes it does happen like that, because when you are freshly passed, what happens? You have lots of energy to clear the interviews, get into the corporate world, you have dreams in your eyes. But when you have taken a sabbatical, you have loads and loads of curiosity along with the fear that, are you still competent enough to come back? Not taking this kind of opportunity, like the entire committee has been thinking about you all, is really applaudable. So taking that opportunity of orientation, I am really privileged and happy to be a part of this, because last year I think I was again a part of this orientation program only, and I had conducted work and life balance, home life balance kind of session. But here today, what I'm bringing for you, each one of you, is something very important, because that is where the door gets opened. So my suggestion and my request would be for all the participants, please concentrate for just 20 minutes. If you have a notebook or a diary along with you, it would be great, because I would be asking you to do certain things, which is going to help you. In case you're not able to finish it in 20 minutes, don't worry, finish it post the session, because that is a tool which will help you to open that door, which is a kind of, magic door, where you basically get into your career, restart your career, or magically you try to grow in that particular career. But without doing these activities, it might be a situation where you'll be doubtful about your own strength. So what my suggestion would be, do not waste time in just listening or skipping any part of this session. Write it down, whatever you feel like important, but whatever activity I'm asking you to do that. So I'm sharing my screen for that. Just let me know whether the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible.
Okay. So the first screen is visible, right?
Yeah, it's in slideshow mode.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to know more about me, I have just mentioned my website, and any kind of help which they want to seek from me, like in regard to their own career development or kind of personal transformation related to their corporate adjustment, they can contact me through my email ID, and I would be happy to help. So starting from this is the first thing. I think it is visible. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah. So now you are supposed to take these pointers for you before you start giving interviews anywhere. When we talk about corporate life, what exactly do you mean by corporate life? So is it just a company name, the company profit, share market status, or there is something more than the particular existence of that corporate? Is there anything which connects to you with this company where you are applying? Have you ever given a thought about why this company, why not another company, or why you are applying to this company for a particular job profile? So unless you are clear within yourself, it would be a kind of ambiguous situation every time when you apply. So irrespective of you whether being selected or not, whether you are basically into some monetary mode, that you want certain salary or otherwise you won't join, irrespective of all those things, the very basic fact is, why this company? What exactly you see yourself in this company? How do you want to project yourself in this company? So corporate life, when it becomes a life in a corporate, it changes from your current status to another status. Now, when there is a transition from current status to another status, there will be certain acts and activities which you might have to do and work on yourself before you plunge into that particular corporate life. So first question that you need to ask yourself, please write it down, and if you can answer right away, it would be best. If not, don't worry, write it at your own ease. First of all, ask yourself, what made you choose this job? Now the question is very simple, and the answer might come or might pop up in such a way, okay, I needed a job, there was a sabbatical, now I was home for such a long period, now I'm getting an opportunity from ICAI to groom myself to get a job, so that is why I'm asking for this job, that is why I'm choosing this job. So now this question is not that clear. Not clear. So individual people will have their individual answers. It will not match to other people. So when you keep checking with other people, they may say, oh, I chose this job because that was available. Or somebody may say that I chose this job because that job, that company is near to my place. Or somebody may say that I'm getting that work from home option. So there are different reasons to choose a particular job. What is your reason? Now, suppose if you're not clear, what will happen? You will land up in a good job, but still you will not be happy. You will not be satisfied because your clarity in your mind and heart is not there, because you don't know why you're choosing that job. So first of all, whatever job it comes, your clarity, your focus, your goal for that particular job should be very clear to you. If it is only because you want to balance your work and home, and then you're getting a very good opportunity from some company and you felt that it is going to balance your life, that is the only reason you're joining the job, then you should not be dissatisfied after a point of time when you see your peers growing up. So when you're not clear about why you're choosing the job, you might end up into getting bitterness, or you might end up in comparing yourself. So don't do that. So for that, I want you people to write properly. If it is 5 pointers, please write 5 pointers. If it is 2, 3, 10, please write that. Ask yourself, what made you choose this job? What do you think you can bring to this job? Now, again, this is a very important question. So if I ask you X, Y, J, why do you think that if I give you this particular job, or if this job is offered to you, you are the best person to do this? Why do you think? So are you clear about your potentials? Are you clear about your strength that should be in you before you join a job? But there should not be any kind of fear. Suppose, for example, you're good in certain aspect of your accounting, and you know that if any kind of accounting statement is given, you very fast and very easily you can find out the errors and you can balance them, or you know very well how to interpret the projections and all those things. That means this is your strength. So are you aware about your strength? So let us understand the strength from the technical and non-technical aspects. So what, as a CA, you feel that these are the things that I can bring to this job. This is the thing, when I join this company is going to benefit out of me. Now, when you start thinking from that way, the fear of being, assurance, a kind of assurance that you're looking for to get the job from somebody else, not from yourself, it will go away. You will be very clear that this is what I have in me and I can bring it on the table, and this is what I can give to the company. So your strength, your potential should be very much clear about yourself. You should be very much clear. What are your unique traits or strength? Now, this previous question and this question has a difference. When I talk about strength and unique traits, this is something which in your past, if you have worked in past, you must have had a kind of experiences where where you proved proved right in certain situations. You did a great job. You were appreciated if you have worked in past. Now, in case if you have not worked in past, there may be certain instances in your life or experience in your life while studying for CA or while studying with your peers, you must have realized this is one thing which I actually is my strength. And I know if I do this, it is going to be great. And I'm open to learn as well. If I fail, I'm open to learn. But definitely, this is my strength. I'm so audible about that. I'm so clear about that. If anybody asks me, I will not be fearful in telling that this is even a unique trait and this is my strength. So before you start giving interviews, do work on your own strength. What are your unique traits? Can you just write it down for yourself? Are you so much clear? In case not, please take some time. Work on it. Go back. Think about instances, situations where you were really showing your unique traits and strength. And it could also be that you never worked before, but there are instances during your education and study time that you felt that these are your strengths. So now I'm moving to SWOT analysis. Mostly people know about this. So I'm presuming that all the CAs sitting here may be aware what is SWOT. In case if you're not, this is one thing which you should be doing every time you stumble somewhere, every time. So what is this SWOT analysis? It is not restricted and limited to just current present situation that you're going for an interview and then only you have to do this. It is applicable in every situation where you stumble. So something new comes and you are panicking, you are fearful, or something, if you get two opportunities at the same time. So that time also you can do this. So SWOT analysis means you need to know your strength. That could be technical, non-technical. I'm specifying again, please work on your non-technical part as well. Non-technical is your personal life skills, the skills that you have and you can bring in for a corporate, for a company, for that particular profile. So technical is one, non-technical is another. So you need to work on your strength, which is S. Then you need to understand your weaknesses, and everybody has weaknesses. So every person sitting here has weaknesses. Even I have certain weaknesses. So there is nobody who is 100% perfect. And there is no point in thinking that, no, I don't have any weakness or I cannot find any weakness. Sometimes, which seems to be a strength, it could be a weakness, like obsession for something. So you need to understand what is your weakness, technical, non-technical. Technical means your fundamental knowledge and information about the subject that you have studied so far, the way it is required to be presented in the organization. And the weakness also can be your personal, that you get fearful or you panic a lot, or you're very workaholic, or you cannot balance your work and home. So all these things are weaknesses. So somewhere you need to understand what are your weaknesses. Third point is your opportunities. So suppose you get a job and the salary is very low. Now, when you do your SWOT analysis, you understand the strength that you're bringing in this job, the weakness that you might face, but at the same time, you're not backing out, because when you find out the opportunities, you saw the opportunities are more than what your weaknesses are. So you can always overrule that weaknesses to get and grab those opportunities. So when you're clear about that, you will be able to take a proper decision and a correct decision for your career. And the last one is threats. So there are pros and cons of certain things. So what are the threats if you take up this job, or if you get into this profile, or what are the issues that may come? But let me tell you, when you're talking about threats, it doesn't mean that threat is fearful thing and you just have to run away from that situation or you have to escape. The threat means that you resolve those threats with your strength, and you understand what would happen as a weakness, what will happen if the threat comes, and then how you are going to overcome all these things. So basically, this SWOT analysis is a very powerful tool which is being shared here, can be used for your personal life and as well before going for the interview, choosing a company, going for the interview, working on it, and then give a back. So do something which is planned. Don't go just randomly. Don't go randomly, and then in case you don't clear those interviews, what will happen is you will come back with a kind of feeling of diffidence, like I might not, I'm not capable, I'm not doing well. So instead of bringing those kind of feelings, why don't you do your homework and then go? In case you still, suppose if you're not able to clear that, that is not a problem, because you'll be able to understand the SWOT analysis and you'll understand why you could not clear. So again, you're ready to learn to overcome such situations where you fail just because of certain things which you could not implement. So failure is never something which should dishearten you. Failure or not able to clear certain interviews should only teach you something new. That is what you should learn to groom yourself in such a way, because you are coming in a competent world, you are coming in a corporate world where you will have to see lots of ups and downs. You need to prepare yourself, and this SWOT analysis is going to help you everywhere. What are your priorities? Now, why this question? What happens on a flow? We try to choose a career when we have not done our homework. So what happens? Suppose if you choose a career and you were not very clear about certain things, and now when the time is bogging and now you're thinking that it is overwhelming, I'm not able to balance or something like that, that means you were not clear about your priorities. If you are clear about your priorities, like what should be your priority wise, out of 10, what are the things that you give high priority? Are you a mother who has a small child at home, but at the same time you want to have a great career, but then instead of choosing a career which is WF, work from home, or you what did you do is you got an opportunity, you jumped into that opportunity without doing your homework, and when it demanded your proper time in the corporate, now you get bitter and you are getting depressing because you're not able to do it. So instead of that, what you should do is give 10 out of 10, give your priorities some certain ranking. And why are you giving that ranking? That should also be clear in your mind. It's not like this vague ranking you're giving. The moment it is given, then you will realize what comes first for you in your life. Then according to that, you can choose the mode of working. Either it should be work from home, part-time, or you want a full-time job. So do that work and then shoot for the interviews. How do you intend to do work-home life balance? This is a question which you need to ask, because as a woman, I understand and I connect to this, that however, people consider women by default that they're multitasker. And we consider it as one of our great traits, but it is not actually a great trait. So don't be happy, okay, I'm a multitasker and I can handle everything in my life. There is no problem. And I will be just like, what do we say, magician, I'll solve this, that. Please don't do that. Don't do that. If you are planning to restart your career and you see lots of things which is supposed to be on you, kindly delegate certain things. Be open to delegate few things with the safety understanding how it is good for your child, your family, your elderly people at home, because it is not a great thing to be a multitasker every time. Okay, so accept the flaws, accept the way I said SWOT mein weakness. It's okay. It's okay if I'm not able to handle. What are the ways that I can balance my work and home life? And don't be in the guilt trap. Don't be in the guilt trap. That is another thing which pops up like anything for every woman. So if you have left a child at home and there is a nanny, or if there is a elderly person who is taking care, you will be in guilt forever and forever in the job. So what will you bring in the corporate? You tell me. There will be a guilt emotion which you're bringing in the corporate. So one point of time, what will happen, if you are supposed to stretch your time, you will feel guilty, plus you will feel irritable. So no point, right? So do your homework beforehand and then shoot for the job. So once you're done this, if you have written it in your notebook, if you have not written the answer, that's also fine. Please do it later. We are now moving to something from the perspective of the corporates. Now, suppose I'm a CEO, or if I am a person who is heading a particular department and you join me, what could be my expectations from you? Okay, be it work from home or be it your full-time office job, whatever. The first thing first, if I'm your boss, I am the head of the department and you're reporting to me, I would like you to be very clear about the scope of the job that you're joining. That is also considered in another way, KRA. So CAs will also have a kind of KRA. They are expected to do certain work, and it could fall into any kind of division. It could be your auditing, it could be advising something, it could be accounting, hardcore accounting work, it could be projection of something, it could be financial planning, anything. So when you're joining a company, there is no harm if you could ask very subtly, very calmly, but very clarity, in very clarity mode, what is the scope of the job that is supposed to be given to you? Like, what have you understood your KRA? Have you understood your work? Because then what happens if you don't, it will become like a spread thing. You don't know what to do. Now your KRA is ABC, but you are trying to do ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you fail in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC is also impacted. So your KRA is impacted. And at the same time, your promotion, your increment is hampered. So you need to know very clearly, like suppose if you're supposed to do ABC, ABC will be your more important KRA where you need to concentrate. But along with that, if somebody seeks help from you or you want to do 1, 2, 3 for them, that is not a problem. Then you should know it should not be impacted. ABC should not be impacted. So ABC gets impacted. Nobody will ask you why it got impacted because you were busy for 1, 2, 3. Nobody will ask you. You need to understand that ABC finish first, then be a kind of generous person to do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever work you want to do. So if anybody calls you, if your boss calls you or your head of the department suddenly calls you and asks you, what is your KRA? What is that you bring in on table? Like, why were you selected? Why is this profile like given to you? You should be very clear to speak out. Like, these are the things which I'm supposed to do. These are my KRA, right? Now we move to skills that you should know or you should have when you're joining a corporate. Since you are in the field of chartered accountancy, you know one thing is very important, that you should have a good knowledge of your regulatory standards and all. You should know like what exactly the way technically the things are prepared or the things are worked on. Okay, so if it needs to restudy and get your education again, or something you have to go back and read again, check your pointers and all those things, please do that. Don't think that don't take it for granted that it is work from home, this will work. No, this will not work. You have to, these people might ask you anytime. These people might ask you anytime when you are preparing something. They might ask you, what is your idea about this? What do you think it should be done in which way? Why the standard is maintained? And then you don't want to be dumbfounded there. Commercial awareness about your part also. At the same time, whenever you are involved in any kind of monetary, obviously it is monetary, so you should be very much aware about what you're projecting and from where the entire system is working, in how and which way. You should not be like, somebody gave me this data and I started creating it without getting a foolproof kind of information. And because this is something which is hardcore financial, and financial things are sensitive. So you need to be very, very, sure about what you're presenting. So financial part should be taken very good care of. Software proficiency. Why? Because maybe when you had taken a sabbatical long back, there must be some kind of customized software which was being used. Here, when you join a new company, there could be some other software proficiency. So you need to understand. You cannot just run away and say, no, I don't want to learn software. We were doing that debit, credit, and that all those handmade and manual thing. So I know only those things, liability, asset, and then net profit and all those things. No, you can't. If there is a software which is being run in the system, then you have to learn it by yourself, or you have to ask them to give you that training, or they want you to be pro with that. Understanding of financial reporting standards, undoubtedly, there is nothing to speak about it. You all know this is a part of your work. Analytical, why? Because when you have to do a projection, you have to have that kind of, smartness. So learn all those things. It is not that when you go, they will directly give you all these things. But when you want to promote yourself, when you want to grow, you need to have all these kind of things. So you keep learning so that you become a master in this. Discretion, in the sense that you know what is right, what is wrong. Don't be a fool kind of person that whatever is being presented to you would be a correct one. Please go through it, check it many times, and if you feel that there is a discretion which is needed to be taken at your end, please do take that. Be vocal about it. Communication skills is something which is CA, non-CA. Nothing, it is not specific to CA or CA, because communication skill is something which is basically, it shows your personality, it shows about your trait, your characteristics. So communication has to have a very mature and wise way. You cannot just be rude to anybody just because your mood is not good or you have suffered something. You need to be very patient, and you need to learn communication skills when you're in corporate, and the corporate people also expects from you. So you just cannot deny that I do great work, but my communication is poor, I can't speak, and I cannot convey what I intend to convey. It will work. No, it will not work. Ethics. This is something which I believe in. CA, no, non-CA, nothing matters. Ethics is something which you need to follow, and especially when it is a financial thing. 100% ethics is required, in the sense whatever is expected out of you and the kind of work you're doing, your ethics should be very clear out there. Market awareness. When you get into the corporate world, people are, maybe they are ahead of you, they are much aware about the market, what is happening around. If you find out something which is a good solution for the company, or it could be cost effective and you can also bring in, work on it, and it will be impactful, do make yourself available for those market awareness. Don't think that this is my area, I don't want to see beyond anything, because when you are in corporate, how indispensable you can be for the corporate. These are the few things which you need to follow, and it is definitely going to help you, right? And I think we'll just take few challenges, and that's it for the session. There are certain challenges that you might come across, but you need to, as I said in the very first slide, that the SWOT analysis has to be done. It could be stressful, so be ready for that. Because of deadlines and all those things, it might be stressful. Ethics issues can come on and off, and then you need to understand that you don't cross any kind of boundary which basically crosses the ethics. Detail oriented job may it may come, and sometimes it may cross the working time limit, and also be prepared for that. The solutions for these challenges I've shared it with you. It's very simple. Please try to organize things, because mostly people don't organize, they just keep spread, they spread all the things everywhere, the things are there. So don't do that. But from first day, try to be organized person. As you organize your files and data and everything properly every day, you will be in a relaxed state of mind every time. Otherwise, it would be stressful. Collaborate. If you think that you need help, please seek help with people. Collaborate and coordinate with them. You coordinate and you help, and they help you. Work management software are there. So if you can see some certain things can be systematically done, please do that. And always try to be calm and good to people. Don't be rude, and don't be very harsh. If people are not in good mood, then also you can handle them with calmness and peaceful mindset. So this is definitely going to help you to stay for a longer period of time in any kind of corporate. These are very simple steps which I have shared, because those are easily manageable. And finally, this is for all the CAs, dear CAs. I know the kind of hard work you put for your exams and all. So the basic foundation, the key that every successful CA has, that you need to love your work. Sorry, you need to love your work. So whatever you do, when you put that love ingredient, because the love ingredient was there also while you were studying, you wanted to become a CA. So keep pushing yourself whenever you feel the surrounding is harsh, or you are not capable to achieve certain things. Don't feel disheartened, because this is your love. This is the space which you have created for yourself. Keep pushing yourself beyond the horizon that you see, and just work on yourself. And I am sure you people, those who are attending this, will be a successful professional and grow tremendously in your life, and you will be able to balance and manage everything. So nothing to worry, just do your homework before you join any organization. So this is from me, Jinal, and I hope it helps everybody there who's attending.
Thank you, ma'am. It was an amazing session. Like you said, start with why. It's extremely important for us to be clear about why is it that we're applying to a particular job, because that's what helps us bring our best talent and add value in the job. And like you mentioned, the KRA, that's extremely important, because most of the times we end up wanting to meet every requirement, but that's really not possible. So prioritizing is extremely important. So I think what you mentioned about prioritizing, I believe, is the Brahmastra to succeed in work, at in life in general as well. So which again goes back to starting with why. Thank you, ma'am. It was an amazing session. We're really happy that we could have you join us today and share so generously from your experience as well. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Our second session today is about facing the interview board, and our speaker is Madam Mamta Vats. I would request my colleague CA Kajal Sanghvi to take over for introducing our speaker, second speaker today. Over to you, Kajal. Kajal, you're on mute.
Thank you, Jinal. And thank you, Ma'am Ranjana. Indeed, very interesting session. And now let's move ahead with another interesting session, which I'm sure everybody is looking forward, which is facing the interview board, which will be conducted by Ms. Mamta Vats. So let me introduce you to Ms. Mamta Vats. Ms. Mamta Vats is from Mumbai. She has done MA in Economics from Mumbai University. She has done post PG DHR from NMIMS. She has 20 years of experience in human resource in sectors financial services, Big Fours, and insurance. She has extensively worked in talent acquisition, HR operation, training, and development. She's currently working in a leading insurance company as HR, as Associate VP, and she's mentoring and coaching young talent to explore their true potential and reach their career goals. We welcome Ms. Mamta Vats, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kajal. It was indeed a thank you for an opportunity and for me to address such an interesting crowd, and all CAs and all of you also. Thank you for giving this opportunity. I will share my screen. Just hold on. Okay, you can share. It'll be great. Yeah, thank you so much. We're just out. I just entered in, so I just thought I'll check where it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, how to face the interview board. Okay. So, you are now going to come face to face with the actual interviewers who are going to decide about you, that you're going to be part of them, part of the company. Yes or no. Okay. So this is a very important, you're the first time you're facing the interviewers, and it's very important that to know how confident you are when you're facing an interview. So most of us, I'm sure, have gone for many interviews, or those who are freshers are going to go for interviews. So these are very important pointers that I've brought for you today. I'm sure it will help you to understand a few do's and don'ts when you are going for an interview. So let's start. How confident are you for an interview? This is a question we have to ask ourselves. Go ahead. Next slide. So today we will cover the contents of this presentation. Is very important is your overall your appearance, your dress code. What should be your dress code? How do you greet the interviewers when you enter the interview room? How do you talk about your profile, about yourself, and the questions you can ask your interviewers? So today we are going to cover these 4 topics, which will give you an overall view about how you're going to face the interview board. Next slide. Okay. So very important is, see, whenever we go anywhere, people have just seen our resume, they have shortlisted us, and they're calling us for an interview. They don't know who we are. Now, how we present ourselves make a lot of difference to ourselves. Now, the appearance that we should have when we enter the interview. dress decently. Yes. Either whatever you are comfortable with, the dress that you are comfortable with, an official dress. Okay. It could be a trousers and a top with a official jacket, or you can wear a salwar kurta, Indian dress, an Indian sari, or maybe a skirt which is a little below your knees, and very decent accessories. Should not be very heavy accessories. A slight decent accessories which are very light accessories, and the color of your dress, it should be very sober. It should not be very loud colors like dark pink, dark red, all those dark colors. Avoid them. Just have sober, light colors which are very pleasing to the person who sees you. A light makeup is something which should go with your personality. Sometimes you don't need a makeup, maybe a light lipstick or a eyeliner, that's it. Okay, so not too heavy makeup and not very plain, but a slight, that you're dressed for an occasion or an interview. You're going for an interview. Use a mild deodorant and carry it in your bag, because when you are going, you're traveling, you're sweating. So, and the interview room is closed. There is a panel of interviews sitting. So, the strong smell may take away the interviewers. So, just when you enter the room, just go to the to the dressing room and just put yourself a little deo to yourself. Look at yourself, how you would like the interviewers to look at you. Okay, so use a mild deodorant, not a very heavy one, and a pleasant one, and carry it in your bag so you can put it on just before you enter the room. Carry yourself well, confidence. So what happens is, when you get up in the morning, that day you have to go for an interview, and something wrong happens. You don't get a taxi, you don't get a cab, you don't, So try and leave an hour and a half earlier to the venue that you're going, so that you don't get stuck in the unforeseen circumstances by traffic, or not getting a taxi, not getting a rickshaw, or not being able to reach in time. So ensure you reach your destination, your interview, half an hour before the time allotted to you. So keep all those exigencies in mind, that what you'll face while you're traveling. Okay, that is very important. If you're reaching in time, at least half an hour early, you can go through your CV, you can go through what's happening, just the newspapers, or you can take care of yourself. So many things you can take care of before you enter the interview room. That makes you more confident, that makes you more comfortable when you are sitting for the interview. These are very externals, but they play a very important role in how you're going to answer the questions. It also keeps your mind calm to understand what the interviewers are asking you. Okay, so that is why these external appearances is very important, because they will bring in calmness and they'll bring in confidence in you. So morning when you wake up and that day you are going for the interview, you have to, you'll definitely have gone through the company profile and, the role that they have asked for you. You must have definitely gone over that. So you know about it. Previous night, you've done all your homework. So that morning, when you get up, just keep your mind very calm. Get up with a hear some light music. Keep yourself, happy. So there's a smile on your face. There's a pleasantness in your face. Sleep that previous night well, so that you are fresh in the morning when you get up and go for the interview, or the later of the day. So these external characteristics play a very important role when you are sitting for the interview on your mind. That brings in about calmness, that brings in confidence in you. Next slide, please. So when you enter the room, you're called for the interview, a handshake with the interviewers. Supposing they are little orthodox and they are little, traditional, maybe a namaste, that will be good. A handshake or a namaste. So have a pleasing smile and greet everybody on the panel. Maybe there are 2 or 3 in the panel. So greet them with a smile. Very important is keep a few copies of your CV in a sort of a folder, because sometimes all the interviewers may not have your latest CV or something like that. So you can always give a copy of your CV. Keep a copy of your CV in front of you. Sometimes if you're an experienced candidate and you have worked many places and you're going to the next interview, so the dates, you may get fumbled with the dates. So it's okay to have a look at your CV so that pointers are there, which dates you worked into which company. I know you should know your dates very well, but sometimes it happens. We're humans. We do make mistakes. We do err. So keep a copy of your CV in front of you. And the interviewers need a copy. Keep 2-3 with you so you can give one to them. Okay. Keep an eye contact with all the interviewers. So while you are speaking, sometimes one person asks you a question. So just don't look at that person and answer him or her. Just look at all the panelists. So everybody is involved in the interview, who is taking your interview. So an eye contact with all the interviewers and a slight smile on your face is very important. Don't have a huge big smile, but a pleasing face and a pleasing personality, and speak slowly so that every word that you speak and you address about yourself is well heard and taken by the interviewers. Wait for the interviewers to ask you the questions. Sometimes, we are so carried away with what we have been doing that we sometimes forget that the other person may not be wanting to hear all the details of that particular project which you have done. So probably wait. Just make a few seconds halt when you start talking about your next job. So in case you want to ask them, you can ask them, sir, ma'am, do you want me to take you through my profile from currently what I'm working to where I work, or you want me to start from my starting of my career? Also, if you're a fresher, then you may have worked on different projects or different internships. So maybe you have worked on several internships. As a CA, definitely you have done audits, you have done taxation, you have done some of you may have worked on certain advisory functions, so many things. So you tell them that you have worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, but would you like me to elaborate on this or that? So supposing they say, yes, speak on your audit function. So that's where then you know that you've got the direction to speak on that function which you are worked on, and you can then tell them about that function well. So wait for the interviewers to ask the question. But if they're saying, fine, you can go tell us about everything that you did. Then you got a green signal. You can bring out the pointers. So keep brief, be very crisp. So don't tell everything what you've done. Just be brief and crisp and to the point of what you want them to hear, or what the important aspects of your project. Just mention that without divulging the name of your client, because that's very confidential to the company where you work for. So without divulging the name of the company, you can just keep the work that you have done. Okay. Keep a pleasing personality and a positive outlook. So very important is that you may have certain, you may not have got through some projects very well. You did them well, but it didn't go well for you. You were not appreciated. So you don't need to mention that. And never, ever badmouth your previous employer to your current prospective employer, because that doesn't go well. So you can speak in a very positive way. Yes, I tried to do this particular project, but certain situations did not allow me to complete it. Okay. So you don't need to mention about any negative things. Always be positive. Yes, but given an opportunity, sir, I would definitely like to do my best and put in all the efforts and all the information that I have and the education that I have and my degree that I have to do my best. So you can mention in a very positive way some things which maybe, you have faced a little negativity, but put them in a very positive way. Can we go ahead? The next slide. Talk about your profile. So when you talk about yourself, be crisp. Maybe 1 or 2 lines on your positive. Your supposing you want to talk about your SWOT, your what you have achieved, what you have every project, your achievements that you have. Talk very crisp. Don't go into details of the project. List your achievements in each of your job, your projects, summer internship. Instead of going on details of what exactly you did, list just the important points of your achievements. That will give them a proper view about you, about what you have done, and how that work will be relevant to what they are offering you. So list your achievements, keep a paper and a pen in front of you. You can write them and put it in a folder and keep it in front of you. So you don't miss out on those important points. Because sometimes, when we are facing 3-4 people, we get nervous because I don't know what will happen. So our hands start sweating and we start fumbling for words and we don't know what to say next. So keep your list of achievements in front of you. So you can just glance through them before you're speaking, while you're speaking. So that you don't miss out on those important points. It's okay to write down your points and keep it in your folder in front of you. So you tell them about your achievements in each of your projects, each of your summer internships. Always see, when you're working in a project, it's a teamwork. It's not that you have done the entire work on your own. So if you're talking about your achievements, it will be that what was your role in the team, not the team achievement. So I was able to achieve, 10 crores capital gains for the company. I was able to achieve that. No, it's not you who have done it, but you have worked as a part of the team to achieve that. So mention that our team achieved this and I was a part of the team and this is the role I played. I did this analytics, I presented this matter, or whatever exactly the work that you have done as a member of the team, you mention that. Okay. So you just can't mention that, we achieved this or we achieved that. So when you are mention your role in the team, how you were able to achieve that in your team. So the interviewer will get, yes, this person was able to do this work and she achieved this as part of her profile. So next slide. Be honest about yourself. Sometimes we like to talk, all the stories, what this and that and add some more masala and all that. No. So be honest. Very important is, to be honest with ourselves. Something went well, something did not go well. It all happens. No, we're all human. We do make mistakes, right? So be honest. Yes, sir, this had happened. I was, under this audit, we couldn't, submit the audit report in time. But yes, we got an extension and we were able to do it. So it's very important to be honest because the interviewer will be happy to know that this person is very honest in telling that these were his areas of improvement. Yeah. So we all have our strengths and our areas of improvement. We all are human and we all make mistakes. So it's okay to make mistakes, but yes, what I've learned from that mistakes, how I'm able to overcome them, that is important. So be honest about yourself. Don't be over descriptive about your job. You have to, don't, as I mentioned earlier, don't be too much descriptive unless you are asked for. So supposing you mentioned about a particular audit role that you played. So somebody can point out, can you give me a little more details about this particular job that you did or this internship that you did? Then you mention about it. So unnecessary information is not required. Mention key areas you have worked in the past coinciding with the current job you are applying. Suppose you're applying for an audit manager or a tax manager or maybe a transfer pricing role or maybe a merger and acquisition role. So if you have done any work under any CA in your articleship or in any other time that you have done this work, you can talk about that role because that will be totally coinciding with the job that you're applying for. So definitely before you go for the interview, you will have a job description, right? So read the job description well. Sometimes we are so excited for the interview, we don't read the job description. And sometimes the job descriptions are so huge, they are like, they go on to 2-3 pages. So seeing as a whole going to read all this big job description, it's sometimes it's very tedious to read all that. But no, you must read the job description, underline the important points what are there, and prepare yourself accordingly. Okay, sir, you mentioned in that job description that you definitely would like me to work on this area of audit, or you would like me to work on this areas of merger and acquisitions. So my articleship experience or my experience as a CA earlier was into this area, and that is why I think I'm the right candidate for you. That means the interviewer is thinking, yes, she has read the job description well. She is connecting the dots, connecting what she has done with what we are looking for. That makes you confident because you have read the job description. You know that this is the job exactly that you have been waiting for, and you are going to definitely get it. But then you have to prepare yourself for it. Okay. So this particular role that you're applying for and what you have worked in the past, you have that experience. So you are mentioning that in your interview. Supposing you have taken any gaps, like, in articleship, we take gaps and we do this. So mention that, yes, I took this gap. I was preparing for my studies. I was also doing my graduations, also preparing for that. So you have to mention, write down the years of the gap that you have. For so many reasons, you may have a gap for family issues, for so many other personal health issues. You may have so many gaps in your career. So mention those gaps and the years and the months also, because when HR calculates the gap in your career, they will exactly know that from this time to this time, we don't know what she was doing. So you yourself can mention from this month to this month, the 6 months, the 3 months break that I took, I was, recovering from my illness, or I was having some family. So as I told you earlier, be honest about yourself. Okay. Nobody's going to hold you and tell you, hold a gun on you and tell you, yes, now you have to join. No. So be honest. So yes, this was the gap that I had. I'd taken this break for my career or for my, family issues. And now I'm bouncing back for my job. Yeah. So mention any gap you have had in your career and the reason behind it. So have a valid reason behind it. Okay. It should be a valid reason why you have taken that gap. It can be for a family reason, maybe for a delivery, or for your, for your baby, or for your family, anything. It can be anything. So be mindful about that part. Yes. Can you, in the next slide? Yeah. So at the end of the interview, you can ask certain questions. Okay. So they ask you, do you have any questions for us? Right? Many interviewers ask you, do you have any questions for us? So you can definitely ask them a few questions. The role that you have had in your company and the team. What is my role, sir? And as a part of the company, what kind of a role will I play to ensure that your vision and your mission of the company is achieved? What is my role in the team? Yes, you have the job description, everything in front of you, but hearing from your interviewers will really give you that comfort level. Yes, this is the role that I was looking for. Because sometimes while talking about your profile, they will feel that you suited some other role that they have in mind. So ask them about the role that they have in for you. The company's future plans and how your role will help in achieving those plans. What kind of a role you will play in it. Okay. So that is a very important question, because they will really be very happy to tell you how, if they really have thought about that you can play a role in it, they will divulge that information to you. How my role can fit in the department I will work. Okay. So this is another question. You can reframe these questions and ask. And thank them for their time. Yes, it would be an honor to work with you. So, and I look forward to hear from you soon. So you're not begging for the job, but you're telling them a thank you for their time, and you're telling them that you're looking forward to hear from them soon. Okay. So this is very important because sometimes, we just get up and we walk out, and we don't know. Then we think, oh, I should have asked this question or that question to the interviewer. And they saying, okay, fine, now it's okay. I mean, I don't know how it went. Some friend will ask you, okay, how the interview went. No, I want to ask this question, but it just slipped out of my mind. So keep this question in front of you in a paper, in your file in front of you. That's okay. That's your folder. Nobody's going to check you. Just look at it and ask us questions. Sir, I had put down certain my thoughts in my paper, and I thought I will ask you this. And I really want to thank you for your time. And I look forward to hear from you soon. So this is a way you can end your interview with a handshake again and come out of it. Yeah. So you're sure about what's going to happen next. Whatever they answer you, wait for the answer. Sometimes they may say, okay, we'll get back to you. But during the when they are answering you, you can make out that your interview went well or it didn't go well. So these questions will help you to get the right answers from the interviewers. Okay. All right. If you have any questions for me, I would like to take any questions for 5 minutes. If I have time,
Ma'am, we have 2 questions.
Yes.
So there is one question from CA Rucha Kelkar.
Yes.
And her question is actually a little interesting. So she says that if the employer asks for weaknesses in a Google form, then is it a good idea to mention them? Because as it is talking about weaknesses is a slightly difficult area.
Okay.
But when somebody asks you to put it down in a Google form, how do you handle it? Because obviously you have to write something there, but what's a good answer?
Okay. So what weaknesses can you have? Okay. So weakness could be, sometimes you are you take decisions very fast. Okay. So yes, I do. Sometimes we have certain situations in front of us, and we tend to take our decisions very quickly. So you can say that yes, I am a quick decision maker, but I will learn to understand the situation, use my discretion, and further analyze it, and then give my suggestion and give my decision. So yes, I'm a quick decision maker, but sometimes it acts against me. So you can mention something like this, not a negative way, but a positive way. Yeah, that could be one. Secondly, analytical skills. I think many of us lack analytical skills, right? But yes, when we can say that I'm learning to improve my analytical skills. Okay, I have done it, but I think I will learn more of the new technologies that are coming in. That is the AI and many more technologies. So there is where I am working on that to improve my skills. So something like that. In the digital era, many things are done digitally, and I'm very well versed with it. But yes, some companies need more technical knowledge, and I am in my way to improve my technical knowledge. So yes, you're not totally everything. See, we don't know everything, but some things we can learn and we can improve ourselves. So it's okay to mention that I'm learning, and we all are learning, right? Every part of our life, every age we are learning. So yes, I'm learning to improve my skills, to improve my technical knowledge, and I'm sure I will be there in very soon.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, yes.
So you said mention the weakness, but also include what you're doing about it, which
exactly.
is a rounded answer.
Yes.
Ma'am, there's one more question.
Yes.
So CA Lakshmi Nair has a question. I think she has an interview, but she doesn't really have the job description.
Okay.
So one is about how we get the job description that's more technical to this drive. But in general, if someone is going in for an interview where they have asked for a job description, but they haven't been given one, in that case, how does a person prepare for the interview without the JD?
Okay, right. So when the person is calling you for an interview, you know the company that you're going for the interview. So if you can Google the company, number one, okay. Number two, if you're going for a CA role, it could be a finance and accounts role, okay, maybe the entire balance sheet making, etc. So they will say, why do you need a job description for this? This is a general thing. But at least you know about the company, right?
Sure.
So you can read about the company profile on Google. And you can tell them this, see, I was not given, during the interview, you can say, I was not given a job description, but I read about the company, and the company is into A, B, C, D. And I believe my role is in the finance department, but I don't know what exactly are my duties. So that's why I've not, I've not really prepared. But if given an opportunity to tell me what exactly my duties are, I'll be able to talk about what experience I have.
Understood.
Right? Some
Yeah.
companies don't give job descriptions. Yes,
Sure.
I'm sure about it, because they think that a CA knows everything, and she will work in a finance and accounts department, so she's supposed to know everything, right? So you can at least read about the company's products, what they are into, and then tell them in the interview, sir, I was not given the job description, but at least I would like to know now what exactly you expect from me, right?
That's a very valid point, ma'am. So, like you mentioned, one of the questions to ask the employer, but yeah, a generic preparation, knowing which specific company we're going for, will hold us in good
Is it
stead.
listed company? What are the products? Who are the board of directors? A little bit about their background. So you will
Understood.
get to know what exactly they are doing,
Ma'am, there's one more question. This is about how do you address the interview panel? So the question is, sometimes it's not possible to tell the age of the person from by looking at them. So is it a good idea to address them as Mr. So and so, Miss so and so, or do you follow the
What
name
I would do
in
now,
the Indian context?
Jinal, what I would do is,
Yeah.
I would first ask, I would know, I would introduce myself. They definitely also introduce themselves. I am
Right.
so and so, I'm so and so.
Right.
So you can say, sir, I would like to know whether are you comfortable if I address you as Mr. so and so, or should I call you sir? How are you comfortable? How can I address you?
Okay.
So
fine.
you know what that person wants you to address.
How they want to be addressed.
Exactly.
Understood.
You can't assume things, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You can't assume
It's
because you
always
have
a good
don't know
idea
the
to ask.
age. Yeah. So you can
Right.
ask them, may I know how I can address you as Mr. So and so, or can I call you sir? Please let me
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Understood, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Actually, we have a lot of questions in the chat, but unfortunately, we really
Okay.
don't have the time to take
No
all the
problem.
questions.
No problem.
But
Anytime.
obviously, your session has sparked off a lot of thoughts, and people have a lot of questions, which is good because that means we're gearing up for
very
the
important,
interview.
because this is the first time you are, coming in face to face with your employer, your prospective employer, and that's the place where they will decide you got the job or you don't have the job.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, and it's a pressure interviews also. And the
Yeah.
pressure interviews, you are like, totally cornered. Okay, there are 10 questions which come to you, and they were given a scenario. You have to work out, they give you a board, and you have to work out that, scenario and see how you're going to solve this. And they will say, no, this is not the way to solve it. This is not expected out of you. So there are a lot of pressure interviews, how to handle them. So sometimes you can't handle all of them. So you can always say, I'll get back to you, sir, if I can have your email ID. I'll work on this and we'll get back to you. So keep yourself positive. Don't get nervous and don't say no. Okay. Say, yes, I will definitely try to work this out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep a positive personality.
Thank you, ma'am. It was
Thank you
really
so
nice, your session, and of course, all the questions that you answered, giving us the next steps. And as Robert Frost says, the best way out is always through. And I think you really have equipped our participants with the best way to go through an interview.
Yes.
So thank you, Mamta ma'am, for your time and for sharing so generously. It was really nice having you with us today.
Thank you,
And we
Jinal.
really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jinal, and thank you, Kajal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So we'll move on to our third session, which is the mock interview. And we have our panel, a warm welcome to our panel again. And the reason I'm saying again is because we had the same panel last year, and your inputs have really helped our candidates, which is why we're extremely happy to have you here with us again. And we have 3 panel members. I have the proud privilege of introducing our panelists today. Our first panelist is CA Guneet Chhabra ma'am. Ma'am qualified as a chartered accountant in the year 2006, and she joined a prestigious global professional services firm, and she's with them ever since 2006. She is a director with them today, and ma'am started off in assurance, and ma'am moved in the year 2013 from the world of stat, tax, and group audits to the world of learning and education. Ma'am has also been responsible for content development, for developing and rolling out trainings as per the business need. and also mentoring the trainers about how to actually conduct trainings in the area of audit. Guneet ma'am has been associated with the diversity and inclusion as well as the CSR initiatives of her organization, and she has now moved also to the risk management team. And thank you, ma'am. I think your combination of expertise in the area of hardcore corporate work as well as learning and education is a perfect blend for us today, because we'll get to learn from your entire expertise. So welcome, ma'am. It's really nice to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Gina.
Thank you, ma'am. Our second panelist is CA Shaili Shah. CA Shaili madam has been is a CA, a CS, and has completed 2 of her CFA levels. She has authored books for the CFA level 1. She is also one of the trainers for the CFA course and a visiting faculty with NMIMS. She comes with 8 years of rich experience in financial services, and she heads credit for a prestigious pension fund. Thank you, Shaili ma'am. It's really nice to have you with us today, and I have the privilege of extending a warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Gina.
And our third panelist is CA Sanchit Jain. CA Sanchit is not just a CA, but also doing his PhD with IIM Bangalore. He calls himself a curious person, and that's really the one trait that has helped him acquire diverse knowledge, which really helps him become a really good academician, trainer, and mentor. And he has this wonderful thought about being a catalyst for the professional growth of people in his orbit, which is a truly noble thought. He also has trained a lot of people in personal finance professionals in the area of personal finance, which is normally the most ignored area. We hardly ever look at our own personal finance, with a focus on mutual funds. So I think there's great work that CA Sanchit Jain has been doing in the area of finance. He also runs a Finance Ke Funde channel, and he's also a financial coach with Teach for India. Again, sir comes with a blend of corporate experience, learning, and academics. So we really have a 3-star studded galaxy, and we are eager to learn from you all. So welcome, CA Sanchit Jain. Really happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much, Gina.
So we have our interviewees today. We have 3 interviewees, but we'll be cognizant of time and see how many we can cover. Ideally, we'd love all 3 to be interviewed. We have the first interviewee, that's CA Falguni Shah. Falguni ma'am, would we have you on your video, with your video on as well?
Hi, Gina.
Hi. So I am going to hand over to our panel for the mock interview.
Thank you so much, Gina. So, hi, Falguni. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Guneet, and I'm joined by Shelly and Sanchit with me.
Yeah.
So,
hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
So, could you please elaborate about your profile? We've also got your, the CV, but it will be great if you can let us know.
Yeah, ma'am. So I have a 4 years experience into the field of tax. I completed my CA in the year 2017. After that, I joined a upper mid-sized firm where my total attention was paid to our directors because I was very much interested in it. There, I have handled a lot of clients, company clients, individuals, like high net worth individuals, handling the income tax return, preparing the financials for the small individuals and proprietors. Then my major focus was into the assessment because I was really interested to go to department, handle work with them. So I have handled a lot of assessment also, appeal submissions also, though we had a separate department to represent before the appeal. But then I was always assisting my team for preparing the submission, for ensuring that we get our orders in our favor. And I am very happy that majority of time my submissions were in our favor. After that, I have also handled certain other rectification assignments. GST part I had handled at the initial stage when I was in my articleship period. After that, I don't have any great experience with respect to GST. I have also handled stat part on a very small scale because my focus was on direct tax, but then I just to have a good exposure, I have done a statutory audit of a limited company. I have I'm recently working as a freelancer, so doing a limited review also for a listed company. I have a exposure in RPT audit, small audit, bank audit, cooperative societies, etc.
So that's really nice, Falguni. So you've done audits, you've done taxation. So I could see in your CV that taxation is something that you're really working and kind of loving it. What I could see that you're, as you also mentioned about the assessments, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
could you please let me know something which was challenging in that particular role, or anything that you feel was challenging, and how did you kind of overcome that challenge?
For every assessment, there are certain points which always challenging. Getting details from the client is the most challenging part because most of the clients are not ready to share certain details. Getting the details on the time is also a challenging part because sometimes we get the notices tonight and we are expecting to respond immediately a day after or in a day two. So, preparing all the data in a day's time, making sure that your submission is so strong that your assessing officer is convinced and is, you know, he makes sure that okay, this order is in your favor. That's the most challenging part. I have come across majority when I think this cash deposit things were going on. So getting the details from the client for related to cash, most of the clients are not ready to give you the correct details. Kuch na kuch, no, certain details are always missing. Making sure that you prepare your details in such a way that even if there is a loophole, that has been taken care of. And I have always assured, if something is there, I don't let my assessing officer or my client face that fear. Okay, because this something is missing, we're gonna lose our we're gonna lose on our part. So
Okay. So tell me one thing that I could see some break in your, some gap in your career, or maybe is it that your CV is not updated? Is it like that, or
no, no,
is there a break after 2022?
I had taken a break from my maternity.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking my own time to adjust because I didn't want my child to leave just because I have to join after 6 months. I wanted to be mentally prepared that okay, now when I think that I am also mentally and physically ready for the job and my child is also ready for it.
How old
So
is
now
your child, if I may ask you, Falguni?
he's 1 year old right now.
1 year old. And do you think you have a support system in your house? And do you think, are you ready for the job? Because as you're
Uh,
saying that, there is a commitment towards it, and, the orders comes a day before, and there has to be there is a lot of commitment in terms of delivery part, which you were saying that it was a challenge. So how do you think that you will be able to do? Do you have a support system in your house, or how are you
uh,
going to manage the situation?
yes, I have kept a maid at present for half day maid, and I have a mother-in-law who looks after my child. But at present, not keen to join the firm where I definitely will get the work where I'll have to finish my deadlines. I'll try to be more efficient rather than stretching out on my time because definitely my child needs me at present. I
Sure, we
don't want to
understand.
stretch my time more. Rather, I want to be more efficient to finish the same work, which I would just say if I was supposed to finish the work in 3 hours, I'll force myself. I will stretch myself to finish it in 2 hours. I can give importance to my work as well and give proper time to my child as well.
So, Falguni, just continuing the discussion which you're having, I mean, I completely understand this. And so, is it something that you're looking as an individual role, or can you handle a team?
I
So,
can
because,
definitely handle a team because
okay,
I have been working in a team of a 25 to 30 charters in my tag team in my previous organization. I had juniors below me, 3 to 4 juniors below me, and for a particular project, we would definitely work. directly coordinating with a partner, 2 to 3 partners together, 3 to 4 charters to working together, advocates working together in our legal team. So it's not just my responsibility for any work. I completely understand, but yeah, definitely my part on a particular work would be on a higher scale, because I have to make sure what I am delivering to my senior has to be complete. Because
Sure.
now when I see my work or the job role, what I'll be expecting is definitely at a particular level under which I may have certain juniors. So for all the I'll have to make sure that the work from my team is complete and my seniors are not under pressure. Okay, ye team ne ye diya hai and we were not expecting this from you.
Okay. And Falguni, do you think it'll be, are you looking for a flexi kind of a work environment? Because the kid is pretty small, and at this point of time, are you looking at a hybrid kind of a model, which is like, I'm trying to kind of look into it so that we can match the your profile with our company's portfolio that we're having. So are you looking at something which is a hybrid environment, which could means something like a virtual, and like because some you have to appear in front of the appeals and all, but how are you kind of planning in the sense, will you be okay to come to the
So
office or work from
I
home? How does it happen?
Yeah, so I actually expect some flexible timings.
Okay.
Maybe 11 to 6 or something. I want something nearby, so I don't waste my time in traveling. I can
Hmm.
focus on work more rather than wasting my time on traveling. It's better to, work more, or maybe a day or two work from home option. If something comes up to me at my home, I should get a freedom. Like, it's not freedom, but I should have an option that, okay, I have an option to complete my work, so I'm not compromising on my work. Also, I'm not compromising on my personal life as well.
Yeah,
A certain flexibility from the organization.
sure. I think, thank you so much, Falguni. I'll pass it on to Shelly. Shelly, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Falguni, I just had a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So the one question, you mentioned about handling a team and, having difficult clients.
Yeah.
So can you just quickly give us one example where you had like a very difficult stakeholder to manage, and how did you go about it?
So I would not mention my client's name.
Of course.
So I got a notice in the evening at 5 p.m. The details asked were related to the cash collection, also certain workings they had asked, which were not actually prepared by the client. So being it was, I think, I don't remember it correctly, but it was, I think, some festival time where half of the staff is gone already at 5 p.m., making sure that you prepare. So in that case, what we had done is we had distributed certain work between client and us, because we were the tax practitioner for them for since many years. So we had almost all the data. So we decided to distribute certain workings to be done by the client, certain workings to be done by us. Research part was given to a particular member in our group. So we mentioned proper case laws and everything. We should not miss out on anything. So I was making the submission. My team was working on the workings also, preparing the annexures also. A junior was working to combine all the annexures. Client was giving me all the details as I was lacking for the supportings. So it was a teamwork. Even my partners were helping me to make the submission, sitting beside me at 12 a.m. at night, and we making sure that, okay, the submission is done, and we upload the submission by 12 a.m. on the same day. So yeah, it is a teamwork. I completely agree that I would have not done it alone in that case.
Got it. So, with the flexibility that you're looking out right now, do you think if such a situation arises, would you be able to extend yourself slightly in such a circumstance?
Saying that, like, for a couple of incidences it would be okay, but if it becomes a regular practice, then I would not appreciate that in that case, because handling once or twice my baby for a longer period by my family members, I can completely expect from them, but on a regular basis it's not possible. And even my child would expect, okay, my mother should be there with me for at least some point of view. time.
Got it. Falguni, that's all from my side. I'll hand it over to Sanchit.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, Falguni. I
Hi.
just have one question. So we understand that you're currently looking at flexi working conditions based on your personal life and because your baby is quite young at the moment. We just
Yeah.
want to understand what's your long-term plan, because when we are hiring today, we are hiring from a 5-year, 10-year perspective so that both of us can grow together. So where do you stand on?
Yeah, so basically I need a year's time. So by that time my child will be 2 years better in a better in a position to communicate himself to my family members. So I'll be not worried even if I'm getting late. Okay, I know that I have a people at home taking care of my child. So then at that point of time, I can now also I can focus on my work completely, but it's just limitation period on a time that I have to go home and make sure that my child is okay. But after a particular time when my child is also adjusted, okay, my mother is anyways going to work, I have to adjust myself. He's gonna come at this particular time. I want him to get some time to adjust. I want myself also to get some time to adjust. That it should be not forced. I don't want to force my child to accept the situation at present because he's very young at this moment. And now after a break of 1.5 year, now I'm also not mentally completely prepared. Okay, chalo 10 घंटा अपने बच्चे को छोड़ के निकल जाओ. At present, that is not my situation. So once I start working, 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, my kid will also get prepared. I will also start preparing myself. And once if something comes up, I know, okay, ये काम मुझे करना है. For once or two incidents, I can manage.
Fair enough. That answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now let's do the feedback of Falguni. So Falguni, what do you think? How did you do?
Maybe I would have been better with certain answers. I was not expecting certain questions, and it's been a very long period for me appearing for any particular interview. So, bit nervous. I was really nervous, and when I was asked for this mock interview, I was definitely not told that what kind of questions I'll be expecting. So, in case I would have been given a list, okay, this question would have been like panelists are going to ask you this question, I would have prepared in a much matured manner, or maybe, But yeah, I was pretty confident. I am sure that maybe not the exact answer what the panelists were expecting from me, but not bad.
So Falguni, I must tell you that I don't know, I could not see the nervousness. You were quite confident. I mean, we can take a voting, and definitely you were quite confident. I felt that you were passionate. You really wanted to come back into the corporate world, which I felt that passion was there when you were justifying that, no, I have a support system. And believe me, this is a question which was going to be asking, as Ms. Mamta Vats also said, that if you have a gap, you have to kind of be transparent about that. I think she really said it well. And even you try to explain it, because that question will supposed to kind of come, and the panelist could be a male or a female, so accordingly that person can definitely ask, because he or she has to take care of the firm. I mean, is the future, are you going to resign quickly and things like that? But you answered it pretty nicely. You had those, I felt you were very pure, genuine in terms of the things that you were sharing. I felt it was quite nice, and it was quite pleasing. The body language was quite pleasing. You were having eye contact with me, which is also, I mean, even Mamta said this. And I felt that you were able to answer the questions, and you were in terms of when we asked about challenging situation, and even Sherry asked that, and when Sanchit was also talking about the flexibility portion, I think you handled it pretty well. That's what I feel. Well done, I would say, Falguni. And Shelly, Sanchit, over to you for the feedback, if you have any points to add.
Falguni, you were not nervous, or at least it didn't come that way. Just one thing, Falguni, you mentioned in the initial beginning where you said that I don't have so much experience for GST. I mean, GST and corporate. So just honestly telling you that instead of saying I do not have or I haven't had, just put it subtly that I have limited experience. The word not brings out negativity.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you
I'll
replace it
keep
by
that.
word limited,
Yeah.
that's it. Otherwise, you're really good. So well done on that.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Sanchit?
So, reiterating what Guneet and Shelly said, really well done. And what I really liked was that, if you had prepared for these questions, your answers would not sound as authentic as they did now. So what usually happens is when we ask these kind of questions in an interview, people come up with all sorts of elaborate schemes and reassure us that, everything would be very hunky-dory going forward. But you accepted that there could be challenges. So it seemed like, you're very much authentic and you want to do this. And you'll try to do this however. So that was great. So great effort there. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all our panelists. And Falguni, it takes a lot of courage to give an interview when there's another 300 people watching. That doesn't happen in a normal interview. So kudos to you and best wishes. I hope you crack
Thank
it
you.
and
Thank you.
you're back on your corporate career.
Hope so. Thank you.
Thanks. So
Thank
we
you.
have our second interviewee, CA Gunjan Jain. Gunjan, is it possible for you to switch on your camera? Yeah. Over to you.
Hi, Gunjan. First, welcome for this panel interview. So I had a couple of questions. We've gone through your CV, but could you just elaborate on your education and your current profile and what have you done so far?
Yes. So first of all, hi, Shalima. I've completed my CA in 2013, and post that I joined a mid-size audit firm in Mumbai, Kalyaniwala Industry, and my profile was their statutory audit.
Gunjan, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you could speak up, we really can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Now it is audible?
It's slightly better.
Okay. So post that I joined Kalyaniwala Industry, and there my profile was a statutory audit, and there I handled it's one of the most major client, Godrej group. Okay, so after that I joined ICICI Bank. My profile was their internal audit, and the main I was handling their retail banking branch audit. So I have to audit the branches of ICICI Bank in Western Zone. And post that I joined Indira IVF Hospital. So my profile was MIS reporting and fixed assets management. Actually, Indira IVF Hospital has 100+ centers across the India. So there I have to handle the few of its centers. So I handled 20+ centers of Indira IVF Hospital, and there I have to take care of the internal controls of these centers or any accounting related issues if they have. So I have to ensure all the proper controls should be there. So, and also in the last year of my job there, ERP has been implemented there. So I was the part of the team who was working on the ERP implementation, and I was working on fixed assets. So yes, and also I was the part of the team who was doing this statutory audit related works and internal audit related works. So that was the profile there.
Got it. So, you had like a rich experience in your last profile, and it was over a long period of almost 8 years. So why do you want to shift to a new role, or what is it that you're expecting? Why such a shift from your existing role to the new role?
Actually, currently I'm not working. And last year I quit that job due to a personal reason. I have a kid actually. So that's why I left that job. But now as he starts going to school, so again I can, I can again join the office, but not the full-time office, maybe work from home or a part-time basis. So that's it.
Got it. So, what would be your expectation and percentage hike in salary? Because now that, you'll be coming for a flexi role or flexible timing role or work from home role. So, what would be your expectation in terms of
In terms of salary, I can say at least 5 to 10% because I'm doing all the things. I'm not, I'm doing it work from home, but I will ensure to complete all my responsibilities. They are all the works which they are given to me. So that's why.
Okay, I just have one last question. So, you mentioned about internal audit that you did for ICICI Bank. So, at that point of time when you were doing your internal audit, what were the various provisions that you took into consideration to manage the NPAs at the bank? Could you just give us some idea on it?
Definitely. In my retail branch banking audit, we do not consider, it is not my part of job, because we have to only the branch documentations or daily day-to-day activities which are handling at the bank. So I have to take care of that part only. So that's it.
Okay, fine. That's it from my side. I will hand it over to Sanchit.
Thank you, Shri. So, hi, Gunjan. So, as I understand, you are getting back into the corporate after a break. How long have you been on a break?
Break is 1 year.
1 year.
December, yeah.
Okay, great. So one major point on that front would be over the last 1.5 years, we have seen AI and automation coming into picture. A lot of focus has been on digitization and automation of processes. So from your perspective, since you have such a rich experience within internal controls, how do you think this automation will impact internal controls? Can some of these processes be automated? Would that reduce some redundancy in the process?
Yes, definitely. Automations will be, can control the, I can say that internal controls के लिए automations बहुत जरूरी है because where the manual intervention is there now, so definitely mistakes can be there, but where the automation system is there, so there is a less chance of mistakes or frauds, I can say. So yes.
Can you give any specific example which comes from your experience where automation has helped the organization?
Yes, so in my last organization, first there was a Tally. Okay, so Tally is completely a manual accounting entry, and there, as I said, that there are various centers across across India. So I cannot handle it properly from the head office. But when the ERP has been implemented, all things are automated in the system. Like we cannot accept cash more than 2 lakh. Okay, so system restricted the when the cash is coming, so system restricted that transaction. So yes, and automation is definitely a good thing.
Okay, last question from my end. Can you share an example where you faced a challenge either in your individual capacity or with the team, and how you handled that?
Yes, in last job I faced the challenges. First challenge was when the ERP has been implemented. Okay, so that time, it was the initial stage. Okay, so one mistake in the implementation phase can ruin the whole thing. So that was very important stage. So that is very challenging. So yes, and the second thing, before the ERP implementation, Tally was there, and as I have some centers. So if there is anything happen at the center, so I will be only responsible. Okay, so yes, that is also a challenge, big challenge.
Can you also throw some light on how you encountered these challenges or how you came out of these challenges? What did you do to solve these?
Yeah, so in the ERP implementation, I analyzes all the fixed assets related things on a detailed basis. okay, from the initial stage to that stage, and I prepared the whole transaction from purchase requisition to the payment or the capitalization of assets or disposal of assets and anything. So I completely study on the complete aspect, and then only I worked on that ERP implementation program. So that's also I discuss that whole thing with my seniors, or their inputs also I incorporated in my detailed report. So that's all.
Great. That's it from me. Guneet, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sanchit. Okay, so Gunjan, one question from my side. Why should I hire you? Just one question.
Yeah. So I think I have done a lot of work in my previous organizations. Okay, so I think in MIS reporting or in any particular specific area, I can say that yeah, I am detail oriented or more analytic. I can do a more analysis on a specific area, and I can do the things. If even I don't know now, then I can study and I can deliver the things. So even after a long break, I think I can manage the things. So that's why. And I
Thank
can
you.
yeah
Sorry, yeah, please.
yeah, I can deliver the things on my previous experiences and learnings also.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gunjan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So Gunjan,
Yes.
how was your experience? How did you find the entire experience?
Yeah, it was very good. Actually, I'm very nervous because I'm giving interview after a long, long period. So that's why.
Were you nervous?
Yes.
Okay, so at some places your nervousness did show up, but more or less you were pretty confident. First thing, like initially, I think there was some voice glitch. So just as a feedback, either have a mic or get your voice, voicing tested before you go for an interview, which is digitally done. Physical, it's not going to be a problem. And second thing, you have a lot of experience. So while you had a lot to say, you could have given certain examples to show the experience that you've had for such a long time. While we could understand that you've done a lot, it didn't come out so evidently in terms of your experience. So just one feedback on my side, that you have a rich experience. So take some examples when you're answering any of the technical questions, or how Guneet also asked the question. You could have just given some example to support it. That's it from my side.
Oh, ma'am,
Guneet, Sanchit, over to you.
Sanchit, do you want to go first?
No, please, you go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Gunjan, I have 2-3 points. So one is that you use fillers. This fillers in the sense, and you use the words like I think. When I was asking you that question regarding why should I hire you, you said I think. No, you have to be very confident. That's me, that's Gunjan, right? So little bit careful. How can you remove the fillers? Believe me, even if we talk in our daily routine, we can't catch those fillers, because these are like our habits which have been developed since long, right? So something like I think, it's so common that even somebody next to you won't be able to catch it. So how can you reduce it? Because I could trace 3 which you used a lot. I think. So these were the 3 which I could. Otherwise, I would have made a list of it. But if you would have had more discussion, so how can you reduce this? You can record yourself. If you're having a telephonic conversation with any of your friend, maybe anybody, record yourself. Even if you're preparing for an interview, record yourself and listen to the audio. Every day you spend 5 minutes on Gunjan. And whatever time you have, you speak. If you're talking to someone, if you're talking to at home also, if you're talking to your friend, mother-in-law, anybody, husband, you said you're married, right? So anybody in your house, if you're talking, record yourself and listen to it. You will see those fillers in your daily life, so you can reduce it. That you let's be conscious that you have to reduce those things, right? And the other way is that you can little bit pause and then say, right? So that was one. And I felt that the profile, when you mentioned about the profile, when Shelly was asking you, could you elaborate on the profile? I think that's the basic question which all the employers start in the beginning. That could have been a little bit more, I would say, better articulated, because you used various terms like also, used profile things. I think the formulation of the sentences were not telling a story. Interviewing is an art of storytelling, so it should flow as a story, that it is so melodious that the employer should say, yes, I love Gunjan. I mean to say, I love to hire her. That's what. So that's what, it has to be like a story, that this is what I've done and this is my profile, right? And one more thing before I pass it on to Sanchit, that is about your body language. When you were comfortable, you were completely calm and composed, I felt. Then there was some, in one question which I think Sanchit asked, you were using a lot of hands, right? So you have to think about it, because that could be, now I'm using a hand so that you can understand. Earlier I was not using my hand. So if I'm using my hand, it is getting a little focused. If I keep on using these, then it's fine. Are you getting what is the difference? It could, see, your interview could be virtual, it could be physical as well. So depending upon that, whatever it is, I think use of the hands, just make sure that you are using it appropriately. That's what, from my side, definitely. Sanchit, over to you.
Okay. I think a lot of critical points have been covered. What I would like to start with is appreciating the fact that you had a clean background. So for a virtual interview, that's a great thing. And as Shelly pointed out, checking the voice and all those options before the interview is important. And third is more of a generic feedback rather than specifically for you. That is that, in my experience, what I've seen is that sometimes we as chartered accountants are not as confident of what we have done. We are not able to sell ourselves very well. So we need to remember that it takes a long journey, 5 years, multiple examinations, multiple levels, and that too at 2-4%. And after that, we qualify. So when we are interviewing for any role, it is not that we need the role, it is also the organization which needs a person like us. So have that confidence at the back of your head that yes, it is not just me who's needing this, it's a two-way street. So that brings a lot of confidence. Second was in terms of fillers or maybe a lack of comfort with the language. So it's kind of customary to have most of the interviews in English. So that's one aspect. So again, speaking from personal experience, because I also had difficulty with English initially. So like putting in 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes every day, speaking with some friends or maybe just trying to mimic movie dialogues or something like that. So that can help. So the more time we spend with it, the more experience we have and less uncomfortable we feel. So fillers and all come in when we are trying to fill in the gap. If you're comfortable with the silence, then fillers don't appear. So yeah. Overall, great job. All the best.
Thank you. Sure, I will work on all these feedbacks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to our panelists. We really would have wanted even Varsha to be able to have the experience of a mock interview. But unfortunately, we've overshot time. We've taken up more of your time than we had initially asked for. So thank you so much. Thank you, Guneet ma'am. Thank you, Shelly ma'am. Thank you, Sanchit sir. Thank you for your time and for sharing so generously. I think the feedback was so honest, and the tips you gave the participants to improve, I'm sure it will apply to all of us and all of us can benefit from it. So thank you for your time. I just have one general clarification for everybody who's attending the orientation program, because there were a lot of questions about the interview time, the slot, about the JDs not being available or people not knowing whether it's online or offline. I know there are a lot of questions and there's a lot of anxiety also because you don't have answers to those questions. There's one email address that you can write to. It's Career Ascent, CAREERASCENT @icai.in, where you can write in with all of these questions, because honestly they're not related to the topics. That the idea was to prepare everyone for the interviews, but these are questions more specific to the actual interviews that are supposed to happen starting Monday. So please feel free to write into this email ID, and I understand you're anxious, so there's also 4 phone numbers: 011 3011 0450 or 491 or 550 or 555. I've got these details from the flyer that's available on the WIMEC page. So if you just Google WYMECICAI, it'll open up the WIMEC page, and there is on the right side a panel, a brochure about this placement drive. Feel free to click on it. It has this email ID and these numbers. That's where I got them from. And you can use these, reach out to them, get your queries sorted. And best wishes to everybody. I hope everybody gets their dream job and you're back on your corporate career again. Thank you to everybody, our wonderful panelists, our speakers before the panel, Mamta ma'am, also Ranjana ma'am, and to the leadership, CA Preeti ma'am, CA Abhay sir, CA Durgesh Kabra ji, and CA Rohit Rubate Agarwal ji. Thank you for this wonderful forum, this platform, and this initiative. I'm sure with all the support from the Institute, the women in our CA fraternity are going to give our best to make sure that India becomes a $5 trillion economy by next year. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend ahead.